What's up, guys? It's Sunday, December 22nd. Another quick trifecta. Never too soon, if you ask me. Number one, let's talk about the result of the Eagles-Cowboys game. I admit it, I was wrong. If you were watching last week, you know I said bet the Dallas money line. But if you took the Jeffo method, you didn't lose. I put $50 on for the Eagles to win, giving money to the Dallas money line, and I won. That's what it was worth it to me, so I hope you did the same. Either way, you can't lose. It's foolproof. But let's talk about this game. Carson Wentz. Step number one, he got his first signature win, if you ask me. Great management game by him. No turnovers, over 300 yards. They ran the ball well. Dallas Goedert coming out party. Huge game. He played horrible the first time they played Dallas and made some key mistakes the last game against the Cowboys. That was his coming out party. Could it be the Eagles at the end of this year are going to think about maybe Zach Ertz gets traded and Dallas Goedert's the future tight end? I've been thinking about that with the money. I don't know, but I think this game is maybe a step in that direction. Eagles win a huge game. Dallas was horrible. Defense stepped up. Now let's not hope for a big letdown against those Giants. They had a tough game in the first half a couple weeks ago. If they can manage it, there's no reason why they can't win by double digits, and it's game over for the Cowboys. Jason Garrett, I heard, is Ubering to the airport and flying Southwest back to Dallas. Jerry Jones is not a happy man. So let's see what happens. If the Eagles win next week like they should, no letdown game, they're most likely getting the Seattle Seahawks. I think that's a fair matchup. That's probably the best matchup we could hope for in a more close game, and we'll see. But let's see what happens next week. I'm thinking Giants lose that game by 10. Eagles are in the playoffs, playing Seattle the following week, and I think the Eagles actually can win that game, as crazy as that sounds. Number two, let's talk about college basketball. It's still not March Madness, but let's bring it on. Villanova Wildcats. What did they do? They beat number one Kansas in Philadelphia. It's unbelievable. Embiid was at the game supporting his Kansas Jayhawks, and they lost. Kansas is up by 3 with about a minute or so left. Big game, Jermaine with a key shot. Unbelievable. Villanova wins big time. Colin Gillespie, the local Lower Moreland, HV, Huntington Valley. You all know the area. Local suburban Philadelphia kid. Key defensive stops to win that game. Huge game for the Wildcats. They end up beating the Kansas Jayhawks. They only lost to Ohio State and Baylor, 2 teams that probably could be Final Four teams. Look for Villanova to be a top 10 team when all's said and done. Maybe they're a 2 or 3 seed. They're young and gritty. I like what I see. Number 3 of the trifecta. Let's talk about the Sixers. Big controversy if you were watching the Wizards game. Sixers win easily. Wizards are horrible. Isiah Thomas late in the game shooting foul shots. A jerk fan in the crowd curses at him using some inappropriate language, gives him the bird, double bird with both fingers. Isiah Thomas at the timeout being called goes into the stands and confronts the fan. The refs end up ejecting Isiah Thomas, and they talked about it post-game. What do you do in that situation? I've seen everything. Fans have the right to boo. I've done it all the time, but there's a place and a limit of what you can say or do. I don't care. You cannot cross that line. This fan was a jerk. He should be blacklisted forever from every NBA stadium as far as I'm concerned. You can't cross the line like that. However, as wrong as that fan was, and he is, NBA players like Isiah Thomas, never, you never go into the crowd because all chaos could result. You do not want a Malice in the Palace Part 2. If he goes in the crowd, his players, his teammates follow, and you could have some other fans get crazy and suddenly you have a brawl. That's for that reason. You cannot do that. So he's right to be ejected. He should probably be suspended. I get it. He was calm. He didn't start the fight, but you can never go in the crowd. Get the security involved. Tell them what happened and they'll take care of it like they did. But I don't care. No excuses. You never get in there. So what do you got? So that's what it is. It's a hot and spicy weekend of sports in Philadelphia, guys. Like the Cheez-Its right here. My favorite, Tabasco flavored. I could eat a full box of these bad boys and then I'm feeling some pain, but it's worth the hot and spiciness when you got Eagles football, Villanova basketball, and Sixers controversy. It's an oldie but a goodie. I recommend it. So we got this. We got 2 behind-the-scenes trifectas within several days of each other. I'm going remote and I'm leaving Philadelphia. I'm going to be in Miami pretty soon, so I'm going to come at you next week where we're going to be talking about the Heat Sixers in Miami live. We'll see if there's some cool stuff going on there, as well as the Orange Bowl. I hedged my bets a little bit ago, hoping the Nittany Lions would be there. I'm not going to the Cotton Bowl in Texas. That's not happening. So I'm happy to see Virginia and Florida. I think it's going to be a good one. Maybe, probably not. Florida should win that one in a blowout, but we'll get you live at the Orange Bowl. So that's all I got, guys. Let's enjoy this Eagles win and hope for no letdowns onto a week in the playoffs. V Productions. I hope you guys all have a good week celebrating the Eagles win.